Two guards asked a black Marine to leave his son's graduation. The words echoed sharply across the room, breaking the proud and joyful atmosphere. It was a moment no one expected, and what happened next stunned everyone present. If you want to hear a story about respect, loyalty, and standing up for what is right, keep watching. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Sergeant Marcus Carter had spent 20 years serving his country. 2 decades filled with sacrifice, missed birthdays, holidays spent away from family, and the hard realities of war zones. He carried the weight of old wounds, both visible and hidden. But today wasn't about his sacrifices. Today was about his son, Jason, finally earning his Navy stripes and stepping into his own military career. Marcus arrived early, heart full of pride and excitement. He took his seat quietly, dressed in his crisp Marine uniform. But not everyone in the room welcomed him warmly. Some attendees glanced sideways, subtly shifting away. Marcus was no stranger to this. He was used to the sideways looks, the silent judgments. But today, something was different. This day was special, and he wouldn't let anyone take that away. As the graduation ceremony went on, 2 guards approached Marcus. Their faces were serious, their tone sharp and full of authority. "Sir, you need to leave now." The words cut through the room like a blade. The proud hum of the ceremony faded into silence. All eyes turned to Marcus, standing tall but unmoving. Why was a decorated Marine being told to leave his own son's graduation? His jaw tightened, his hands clenched, yet he did not raise his voice. He did not move an inch. The guards reached for him, but Marcus's tone was firm and clear, laced with steel. "Touch me, and you'll regret it." The crowd gasped. The room froze. The tension was thick. Everyone was watching, waiting. Then, from the back of the room came a calm but powerful voice, cutting through the silence. "You might want to step back." 4 men stood, unmoving and silent. Their presence alone made the guards hesitate. These men weren't just anyone. They were Navy SEALs, Jason's training officers. One of the SEALs, the tallest among them, stepped forward. His voice was low but sharp. "Sergeant Carter has more combat hours than this entire room combined. You really want to do this?" The guards exchanged nervous glances. One of them radioed for backup, but the SEALs didn't blink. They stood firm, ready to protect their brother in arms. Marcus's son, Jason, stepped forward. His eyes were blazing with pride and anger. "He's my father," he said firmly. Whispers spread through the crowd. The guards looked uneasy. Then the base commander appeared, his face dark with anger. He walked down the aisle with authority. "Stand down," he ordered. The guards stiffened. The SEALs held their ground. The commander locked eyes with Marcus, then extended his hand. "Sergeant Carter, my apologies. Your son's ceremony won't start without you." Applause broke out across the room, but Marcus didn't take the commander's hand. The damage was done. The humiliation, the assumption that he didn't belong. He looked at his son, really looked, and saw the same pain reflected back. For the first time in his career, Marcus wondered if the country he had bled for still saw him as one of their own. Then, Jason did something unexpected. He stepped forward and saluted his father first. The room went silent. Marcus's breath caught. The SEALs stood taller. The commander slowly lowered his hand, understanding dawning on his face. This wasn't just about protocol. This was about respect. When the ceremony began, Marcus sat front and center. The guards were nowhere in sight. As Jason received his diploma, the 4 SEALs made sure everyone knew who stood beside him. Because some battles aren't fought with bullets, they're fought with loyalty. And no one messes with the Marines family, not on their watch. If this story touched you, please hit the like button and drop a comment below to share your thoughts. After the tension in the room slowly began to ease, the graduation ceremony moved forward, but the impact of the moment lingered with everyone present. Sergeant Marcus Carter's experience was more than just a clash during a ceremony. It was a reflection of a deeper truth, one that many who have served understand all too well. It showed how respect, honor, and dignity must be earned and protected every single day, not just on the battlefield, but in everyday life. Marcus had devoted 20 years of his life to serving his country. Those years were filled with sacrifice. He missed countless birthdays, holidays, and family milestones. He faced dangers most people could not imagine in war zones far from home. The physical wounds Marcus carried were a constant reminder of his service, but the emotional scars ran just as deep. Yet, despite all the hardships, he wore his Marine uniform with pride. It was a symbol of all he had given and all he believed in. And more than anything, he was proud of his son, Jason. Jason Carter grew up watching his father's strength and dedication. It wasn't always easy being the son of a Marine. There were long periods when Marcus was away, and there were challenges Jason faced trying to live up to his father's legacy. But through it all, Jason learned valuable lessons about courage, discipline, and standing up for what's right. Earning his Navy stripes was not just a personal achievement, it was a continuation of his family's legacy of service and sacrifice. The moment when two guards approached Marcus and told him to leave his son's graduation stunned the entire crowd. It wasn't simply a question of protocol, it was a matter of respect. These guards didn't know who they were confronting. They didn't realize that this man was a Marine who had served his country honorably for 2 decades. They didn't understand the deep bonds between military brothers and the loyalty that would bring 4 Navy SEALs to Marcus's defense without hesitation. The SEALs' presence changed everything. They stood silently but firmly behind Marcus, showing the guards, and everyone watching, that they had his back. These were not just men in uniform, they were family. They knew Marcus's courage and strength, and they were ready to stand with him. Their quiet confidence sent a message louder than words: you do not mess with a Marine's family. The arrival of the base commander brought a turning point. When he ordered the guards to stand down and personally apologize to Marcus, it was a powerful reminder that respect must always be shown to those who serve. The commander's words showed that this wasn't just about following rules, it was about honoring the sacrifices made by service members and their families. Marcus took his seat again, front and center, to loud and heartfelt applause. The guards who had tried to remove him disappeared, and the message was clear. Marcus belonged there. His place was at his son's side, proud and honored. The crowd recognized that the true meaning of respect had been upheld. But this story goes beyond a graduation ceremony. It speaks to the struggles many veterans face when they return home. Even after years of service and sacrifice, they can still encounter judgment, prejudice, and exclusion. Marcus's experience sparked important conversations on the base and beyond. People began discussing the need for respect, fairness, and support for those who serve. Jason's salute to his father was more than a formal gesture. It was a powerful moment of recognition and love between father and son. It spoke to the pride they shared and the respect that had been reaffirmed. That salute reminded everyone that respect is earned through sacrifice and loyalty and must be upheld in every moment, big or small. This story teaches us about the true meaning of honor. It comes from standing together, protecting each other, and fighting against injustice whenever it appears. It calls us to remember the sacrifices of service members, honor their families, and make sure respect is never just given, it is deserved. If this story touched your heart, please share it with your friends and family. Help spread the message of respect, loyalty, and courage. And if you want to hear more stories that inspire and remind us of the strength of the human spirit, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Every service member, veteran, and military family deserves our respect and gratitude. Let's stand united to make sure their stories are never forgotten and their sacrifices honored. The moment when the base commander stepped in and ordered the guards to stand down marked a turning point in the ceremony, but it did not erase the deep emotions that had been stirred. Sergeant Marcus Carter's experience that day was about more than just a graduation. It was a powerful reminder of the complexities and challenges that come with serving a country that doesn't always see you as one of its own. Marcus had spent 20 years in uniform. 20 years of sacrifice, of missing precious moments with his family, and of enduring the harsh realities of war zones. His body carried the scars of battle, but his spirit remained strong. For Marcus, his Marine uniform was more than just clothing. It was a symbol of commitment, honor, and identity. When he came to his son's graduation, he wasn't just a father attending a ceremony. He was a man proud of his service and proud of the son who followed in his footsteps. Jason Carter had grown up watching his father serve with honor. He learned what it meant to be disciplined, brave, and loyal. These lessons shaped him and inspired him to pursue his own military career. Earning his Navy stripes was a milestone, not just for Jason, but for the family legacy that Marcus had built with so much dedication and sacrifice. The request by the guards for Marcus to leave was more than an affront to protocol. It was an act that questioned his place in that moment and in the larger community. The crowd was stunned. How could a man who had given so much to protect his country be made to feel like an outsider at his own son's graduation? The 4 Navy SEALs who stood silently behind Marcus represented the power of solidarity and brotherhood. Their quiet presence was a shield, a reminder that Marcus was not alone. These men had fought alongside him, understood his sacrifices, and were willing to stand up for him without hesitation. The guards' hesitation and the subsequent arrival of the base commander showed that respect and honor still mattered, even in difficult moments. But the incident raised important questions about how veterans and service members are treated beyond their years of service. Marcus's experience became a spark for conversations about race, respect, and recognition within the military community and beyond. It highlighted the reality that many who serve face ongoing challenges, including prejudice and misunderstanding. Jason's salute to his father was a poignant moment. It wasn't just a gesture of military protocol, it was a public declaration of pride and respect. That salute sent a message to everyone present. Marcus belonged, and his service and sacrifice were honored. It was a reminder that respect isn't just about ceremony. It's about seeing each other's humanity and honoring the bonds that tie us together. This story reminds us that true honor isn't only earned on the battlefield. It's earned in the way we treat one another every day. It calls on all of us to stand together, to support those who serve, and to fight against injustice whenever we see it. Respect is not automatic. It's something we must earn and defend, especially for those who have given so much. If this story moved you, please share it with your friends and family. Spread the message of loyalty, courage, and respect. And if you want to hear more stories that inspire and remind us of the strength of the human spirit, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Every veteran, service member, and military family deserves our gratitude and respect. Together, we can make sure their sacrifices are never forgotten and that their stories continue to inspire. The day's events at the graduation ceremony had stirred emotions that would not soon fade. Sergeant Marcus Carter's experience wasn't just an isolated incident, it was a reflection of the complex realities many who serve face every day. That moment, when 2 guards demanded he leave his son's graduation, exposed a harsh truth about respect, recognition, and the ongoing struggles veterans endure, even after decades of service. Marcus had dedicated 20 years of his life to protecting his country. His service had come at a high cost: missed family moments, physical injuries, emotional tolls, and countless sacrifices that most civilians could hardly imagine. The uniform he wore was more than a symbol. It was a testament to his commitment, courage, and resilience. Attending his son Jason's graduation was a moment of pride, hope, and fulfillment. Jason had grown up in the shadow of his father's dedication. Watching Marcus serve taught Jason the values of discipline, sacrifice, and loyalty. Those lessons inspired him to pursue his own military career, walking the path his father had helped pave. Earning his Navy stripes was a milestone for Jason, a symbol of his hard work and the legacy he was proud to continue. But the ceremony's peaceful pride was interrupted by an act that shook the room. When the 2 guards demanded Marcus leave, it wasn't just a procedural request, it was a question of belonging. The crowd's shock was palpable. How could a decorated Marine, a man who had devoted his life to his country, be treated like an outsider at his own son's ceremony? The 4 Navy SEALs, standing silently behind Marcus, represented more than just protection. They symbolized the unbreakable bonds forged in service. These men, Jason's training officers, stood as a united front, silently communicating their support and readiness to defend their comrade. Their presence caused the guards to hesitate. realizing they faced not just one man, but a brotherhood of warriors. The base commander's arrival and firm order to stand down changed the course of the day. His apology to Marcus was more than a formality. It was a public acknowledgement of Marcus's service and an assertion that respect must be upheld. The applause that followed as Marcus returned to his seat was not just for Jason's achievement, but for the dignity restored in that moment. Yet this story highlights a deeper issue: the ongoing challenges veterans face once their service ends. Marcus's experience sparked conversations on the base and beyond about race, respect, and the treatment of those who have served. It exposed uncomfortable truths and called for change. Jason's salute to his father was a powerful declaration of pride and respect. It was a moment that transcended military protocol. It was a gesture of love and recognition that echoed throughout the room. It reminded everyone present that respect is earned through sacrifice and loyalty and must be protected fiercely. This story teaches us that honor is not only found on the battlefield, but in how we treat each other every day. It calls on us all to stand together, to defend those who serve, and to confront injustice wherever it appears. Respect isn't given lightly. It is earned and must be defended. If this story moved you, please share it widely. Spread the message of courage, loyalty, and respect. And if you want to hear more inspiring stories about the human spirit and the sacrifices of those who serve, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every veteran, every service member, and every military family deserves our respect, gratitude, and support. Together, we can ensure their sacrifices are honored and their voices heard. Remember, behind every uniform is a story of dedication, courage, and sacrifice. Marcus Carter's story is a reminder that the fight for respect and recognition continues long after the battlefields. Let's honor those who have given so much by standing with them, not just in words, but in actions.